we could. There we go. This is a look at the High 5 camera here in Midtown. We're looking back towards that thunderstorm as it's moving into the southwestern corner of DeSoto County. So again, that's what we're looking at presently. Doesn't look like very much. There's a lot of cloud coverage out there, but you see how it goes from kind of a lighter shade looking back out towards the east to a very dark shade. Let's turn that camera a little bit further off towards the east. And you see the flashes of lightning coming from those storms as they're coming up into this area. So we'll keep that look there. I want to come back over to the radar, and y'all just let me know if that starts to get a little bit more active here in the next couple of minutes, because I mean that thing has a ton of lightning. Maggie, do you have is your mic up?
There, Anna.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
I just want to check in with you, let you, because she's working the National Weather Service chat as well, and just see what's happening over there. Maggie, you see anything that is standing out to you at this point?
Yeah, a lot of lightning, but also heavy rain. So if you are out going off to lunch, this is going to be super impactful for areas, especially as it moves over into portions of the Memphis metro. Right now, it's extending from West Memphis down into Goodman. We just got an update, as you can see right there. West Memphis down to even Whitehaven. And you can see those purples right there. That is indicating heavy rainfall. If I go ahead and see just how heavy it is, even up to 5.5, 6 inches per hour. So again, heavy rainfall. It's going to be moving over the 240 loop. So that is definitely going to be impacting those on the roadway. Make sure to stay extra careful. Slow down if you are on the roads. And again, if you're headed out to lunch, I'd let this one pass over and then make your way out. But that's what I'm seeing, Patrick. Heavy rainfall and that lightning associated with this as it makes its way through. It's about to impact a lot of people.
All right, let's go back over here to the radar really quickly. I want to show you the reason why this warning was issued was for more so a hail core that was beginning to develop down there in southwestern portions of Shelby County. And when y'all get that camera queued up, the one that's at the river, let me know and we'll go to it. But it looks like we do have a little bit of a hail core that's gone up right along Highway 61 as you're coming across the Mississippi-Tennessee River, Tennessee border. This is a look at our High 5 camera in downtown. This is as the storm is now beginning to make its way onto Mud Island. Here's the edge of Mud Island right here. Tom Lee Park is over here as well. Let's turn it a little bit more to the south, and we'll be able to look at the old bridge looking down towards South Main, and you see the wall of water here. And again, this storm probably has some hail associated with it. That was the initial reason why they issued the warning, on top of the potential for some gusty wind potential. But the storm itself coming through downtown, and we hear the rumbles of thunder here in Midtown. Let's go back over to the radar now. And again, the reason why is because of these little hail spikes that we're seeing here. Maggie, you've got that pulled up over on links. Let me see what you got going on over there.
Yeah, that's right. This is our link system. We can have what's called a Barron button, and it tracks heavy rainfall, but it also can track hail potential. And that's what you're seeing behind me. Is it's saying the radar estimate how much hail is this seeing, or the size of it, up to quarter size. So if you are in this area seeing lots of lightning rainfall, but also that hail potential, which can be destructive. This isn't as big as what we would say is destructive, but again, could make an impact on the folks on the roadways and just any life or property that is in the area. Just want to make sure to keep, if you do have a garage, put your car in the garage, keep stuff indoors and let this pass over. We're really seeing this. This is a little bit late, the hail tracker, compared to the reflectivity. So as you can see there, the rainfall is really stretching from Memphis International, pushing into Memphis International, even up to portions of Mallory. Again, making its way over the 240 loop in that hail tracker, a little bit behind it. So again, if you are in those areas within the 240 loop, it is making its way into your area, and it does have the potential for some small hail.
And Anna, let's go ahead and pull up our TDOT camera. Let's get one of the TDOT cameras along 55 between there and I'd say from 240 down to State Line Road, somewhere in there, like Rains Road, somewhere in there, or Winchester. Probably be able to see that potential for some hail now moving across I-55. As you see, the tons of lightning associated with this moving across. This is over near Graceland right now, where Maggie was showing the hail core. That is near Graceland. It is now crossing over I-55, very close to the Welcome Center. in the, say, Winchester Road, Rains Road, Shelby Drive area. So South Memphis, heads up, this is going to be moving in your direction out towards Parkway Village. Also for our friends in Orange Mound, you guys should be prepared for this as well because there's a ton of rain and storms coming in your direction. Cooper Young, also for our friends here in Midtown. Everybody needs to be prepared for this because the general progression of it is going to take it right through the heart of the city of Memphis. So we'll take it off to the east at about 35 miles per hour, give you an idea. Capelville, so we're talking about South Memphis, Whitehaven, these areas getting involved here very shortly. The time right now is 11:15. Germantown, I said about 11:25, 11:30. Heads up to you guys. This will cross over 385 somewhere between about the next 5 minutes or so. The north end of the Memphis International Airport up there near the FedEx area on the north end of the airport. Collierville by 11:37. Piperton heading out in the far eastern portions of Shelby County coming up here at about 11:45. Let's go over to that TDOT camera. So this is at I-55 between Rains and Winchester. This would be about the same area where that, you see the lightning popping off there, where that hail core would likely be pushing across. As Maggie said, it's not terrible, but again, that could still cause some damage to property when you have quarter-size hail coming down and it comes down on top of you as you're driving 60 miles an hour down the interstate. So you probably don't want to be on the roadways right now. Nobody needs to be on I-55 from Goodman Road all the way up through 240, all the way through the Midtown Junction. Nobody needs to be on 240 from 55 all the way out to the flyover. And I'd say nobody needs to be on 385 either, because that's going to come across very close to Hacks Cross and Germantown Parkway, so Germantown Road area. That's all moving in that direction. Heads up, again, hail potential with this storm. I do want to zoom back out and give us a broad perspective of the bigger storms that are ongoing in other locations, because guess what? While we have a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for the metro area, there are some big storms that are ongoing across portions of the Mid-South, including for Tipton County, Lauderdale County, Dyer County, and also for Mississippi and Crittenden counties, as well as a very strong band of storms. This is round number 1 of storms that we told you probably sometime around midday we'd have to tangle with this. And of course, now this is what we're having to deal with. Down to the south and west, see how these storms kind of flare up just all of a sudden here? That's the frontal boundary that's moving northward. You head down towards the south, you're probably going to be running into warmer air beginning to filter in and maybe even some sunshine. So it wouldn't be surprising that we would probably see some sunshine down towards our Clarksdale camera. If Maggie, if you could try to pull that up. I don't know if it's in links, but I know it's in Max.
Clarksdale camera?
Yeah, it would. I think it would be on Max, so we might have to do it on Max too to be able to do it. But we'll go ahead and look at this because we're starting to hear the rain coming down here at 1960 Union and Midtown. Let's take the Midtown camera if we could. That is still looking towards the south and west, so looking at the core of this storm, and that's what it looks like, friends, right now. Of course, tons of lightning coming down here in Midtown. We hear it here. It is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Shelby County until 11:45 this morning as this first band of storms moves through here, and right along the frontal boundary, the warm front, that's what's kicking this off here today with the first round of storms. Now remember, this is round number 1 of storms. Round number 2 of storms likely comes in here as we head through tonight into early tomorrow morning. So we are not out of the woods just yet when it comes down to things. That is Union right there, Union McLean right here. All right, there we go. So you're looking at Union Avenue, that's McLean. You can't even see downtown from here. I mean, really, you can't even see down to Belvedere. I mean, like, you're not looking, very short order, you're going to run into this extremely heavy rainfall. And that's another problem that we're going to have today. And Maggie hit on this earlier this morning when we were during Action News 5 at between 5:30 and 7 o'clock this morning. We were talking about the torrential downpours that could come along with this. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. You definitely can see it and feel it as you're stepping out the door here this morning. We saw that surge of moisture coming in there. Tons of lightning coming in here. I don't see a ton of wind necessarily, but of course with the amount of lightning that's popping off, the little bit of gusty wind action, we're probably going to start to see some MLGW numbers starting to creep upward, and we'll check that out here shortly if you guys can get that ready in the back. Let's go over to back to the radar. And I want to point out again that line of storms that's pretty active that is now moving across the Memphis area. It's not just Memphis, though. I want to heads up for our friends in southern portions of Crittenden County, also for northwestern Shelby County, heads up to Millington. That is a gusty storm that's now kind of starting to bow out a little bit, coming across the Mississippi River here shortly. So we'll zoom into that storm. And Maggie, let me know. You just jump in whenever you need to if you see something that needs to be highlighted. See the storm is kind of bowing out a little bit here as it's dropping down towards the south and east. The general progression here is that some of these storms are moving more easterly than some of the individual cells seem to be moving more down towards the south and east. And that one right there, it seems like it's probably got some gusty winds, 40, 50 miles per hour, would you say, Maggie?
We can really see those winds start to push out that rainfall from the center of the storm, and that is pushing out about 40, even that's radar estimated, so it could be a little bit more, 40, 45 miles per hour. So if you are in Millington, portions of that area, you could be seeing some gusty winds. Right now at 1960 Union, we are hearing a lot of rainfall and a lot of thunder as well.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're hearing some hail falling here as well, and that goes along with that hail core that's moving across.
It's moving right across us right now, Patrick.
Yeah, and
I'm looking at it.
Let's go back over here to the radar. I want to show you, again, we'll go over to the hail scope and show you, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing some hail. And Maggie, you've got a little better view of that on Link. So let me show you that, guys.
Yeah, this is our hail tracker on our Link system, and you can see really where the hail core is, where that white and black areas are. That's where we could be seeing that hail, and that's stretching from Winchester Road, Memphis International Airport, all the way up into portions around 240. So again, if you are on the 240 loop, you need to be getting off, taking a break, let this pass through, and then make your way back up. And also, if you're headed out for lunch in portions of really Midtown, even down into portions around the airport, just make sure to take a break. That's where we're really seeing this hail core set up right now, which is why this severe thunderstorm was originally issued. So let's take a look. See, just about a quarter. This is radar estimated, so could be a little less, a little more ping ball sized hail. So, and I'm pretty sure we're hearing that over the studio right now, Patrick, and around 55 as well. Zooming out, another thing we're looking at other than the hail potential is a lot of lightning. You can see the total strikes. I have it up right here. Let me clear this other. Yeah, I have it up right here just from this thunderstorm alone that's passing through Shelby County into portions of Midtown, seeing around 250 to 300 strikes. So what we say is when thunder roars, get indoors, lots of lightning. If you do have any plans, again, at Germantown, it's really pressing onto Cordova, Bartlett, Lakeland. If you have any plans, keep them indoors as this is going to be pushing through around the next really 20 minutes. Patrick, do you have anything else with that?
Yeah, just letting us know that we've got pea-sized hail falling down here in Midtown, and I wouldn't be surprised just based off of the radar image that Maggie just showed. You could see that core right on top of Union Avenue at this point. So Union to Madison, back down towards the south to South Parkway probably. That's where we're seeing a little bit of that hail, Central Gardens area, and now we also have another core that is moving across I-55. And again, this is delayed a little bit, so it's probably closer to Lamar at this point and Winchester. So that's moving off towards the east. That's heading towards Germantown and East Memphis, Parkway Village, and heading out closer to 385 here in this short order. Again, hail seems to be the main issue with this one, but also some gusty wind action as well. Back over to the radar. There's your severe thunderstorm warning. Tons of lightning associated with this. Let's check in with Ariana. Because I think you have some MLGW numbers that may have just come in here within the last couple of minutes.
Hey, Patrick. Yes, so I have been just keeping an eye on the MLGW outage map because this is something that we have, of course, been bracing for, knowing that we were going to have 2 rounds of storms. Currently, there are 19 outages with 1,500 customers affected. Looking at the map here, it looks like a lot of those in that orange color are in the Bartlett area. Again, also seeing some in the Raleigh-Fraser area. Just to paint the picture for you, though, at the top of this newscast, around 11 o'clock, I checked the outages. At that point, there were only 318 customers impacted. Again, now we are seeing that number slowly but surely increase. Again, 1,550 customers affected with 19 outages. So again, I'm going to continue to monitor this. And You know, just from some perspective, this weekend we saw 7,000 people, customers that is, homes and businesses without power. We know in other instances that number has gone up, you know, past 200,000, with some people just out without power for multiple days, some even over a week. So again, hoping that is not the case today. But again, the way these storms are looking and the strong winds, heavy rain that we're hearing right now in Midtown, that could be the case. Of course, just a reminder to make sure your phone is charged, batteries, lights, all of those things if possible. But again, currently 1,500 customers without power. Patrick, I'm going to continue to keep an eye on these outages, and I'll give you an update in a few.
All right, thanks, Ari. We'll go back over here to the radar. And just so you know, while things are maybe lightening up a little bit in some spots, just so you know, there's another round of storms that is just off to the west. It's moving through West Memphis and heading towards Shelby County. So just a heads up for our friends in Crittenden County. Yeah, we know it's getting pretty rough over there as well. Melissa, let me know which camera you had again. Let's take the, I think you said 240 in Jefferson. Is that what it was? Okay. So this is 240 in Jefferson, and of course this is going to very heavy rainfall moving through here. You see the trees blowing. Maggie, did you see something that popped out to you, or?
No, I was just looking at the trees blowing, heavy rainfall. You can see the sheets of rain falling along with that.
Yeah, and let's go over to the MDOT camera if we could. And you said this is going to be 302, so Goodman Road and 55. Okay. All right, we'll work on that. We'll get you down into DeSoto County as well. Let's look at that storm track, because again, it looks like some gusty wind action is starting to blow through eastern portions of Memphis. So heading out towards the east leg of 240, heading out towards the flyover, Bartlett, Cordova, Germantown, Shelby Farms, Collierville, and it looks like the very edge of it is probably coming up to Germantown Parkway right now, and moving down Poplar, Wolf River Boulevard, and coming off to the east out towards Walnut Grove, and like I said, around Shelby Farms, it seems like that's where the biggest impact. So let me zoom out just a little bit here, and we'll get a better perspective of where that storm is currently located at and where it's headed from here, because guess what? After this, we still have that warning that's technically in effect for eastern portions of Fayette County. So this will take it through Bartlett here. And actually, as I was doing that, the radar had updated. So let me clear that out, and we'll get you the latest first alert to the storms as they make their way across the Mid-South this morning. And hopefully this will be one and done, but unfortunately, we have more waves of storms on the way as we go through the next little bit. Collierville, it's on top of you guys basically right now. Lakeland as well. Again, like I said, around Wolf River Boulevard, that area, down the Wolf River, over in the eastern portions of Shelby County, right now through the next little bit. Heading over into Fayette County, we're talking Oakland going down Highway 64 by 11:54, and eventually Somerville by the time we head towards about 12:10. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning doesn't go all the way out there to that part of town, but it does include portions of Fayette County. The portion that includes far southern portions, or far northern portions of DeSoto County, that has been clear. I would say that that's done, but there's still some bigger storms off to the north. And it looks like, as I mentioned earlier, the storms are beginning to fan out a little bit. These are not as intense as they were a couple of minutes ago off to the north. Would you say, Maggie? The ones that are moving
I just want to let you know, Patrick, that they are going to be issuing another SPS for northern Shelby County for gusty winds. They just came out with that.
Okay, and that was for that cell that we were looking at that was very close to Turl.
Yes.
Okay, so that goes back to that storm that we were talking about that was over here in southern Mississippi County, northern Crittenden County, that will be getting a strong storm advisory for the Lauderdale, the Tipton, and northern portions of Shelby County line. So Millington, Atoka, and Munford, heads up to you guys, some gusty winds. 40 miles per hour. So, Maggie, I'm going to let you take it for just a second. I'm going to go change some batteries here in a second. But again, that severe thunderstorm warning continues until 11:45 here this morning. The time right now coming up on 11:30.
Yeah, we're watching 2 areas of interest that are pushing into Shelby County. The first one has a severe thunderstorm warning on it, really looking at the potential for gusty winds and hail with that one. And then we're looking at a second one. So let's take a look a little bit closer at Doppler radar. We're seeing 2 areas of interest. Let me clear that out right there. And you see this one sitting over Bartlett, Germantown. It's continuing to push through as it makes its way into Shelby County. You can see there it's stretching from, again, Oakland, Bartlett, and then going to be pushing into portions of Collierville. I'm going to go ahead and do a track on this one and then do the one that's going to be pushing through portions of northern Shelby County. As you can see there, it's going to be making its way into Millington. And the way we're looking at that one is with gusty winds. So going ahead and putting a track on the first one that's really starting to bow out and push eastward around 35, 40 miles an hour. It's going to be into portions of Collierville again in the next 3 to 4 minutes. So if you are in that Collierville area, I know there are lots of subdivisions and areas around there. Just make sure that you are getting indoors. This could affect portions of Arlington too, although it is not within this track. Fisherville around the next 4 minutes, Lakeland in the next 5 minutes, Piperton next 7, and then Kirk also in the next 7. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. That is the first area of interest that we're looking at. The second one pushing into northern portions of Shelby, southern portions of Tipton County. As you can see here, really watching that bowing segment as it continues to make its way through. Gusty winds associated with that. I'm going to go ahead and put a track on that one. It's going to be pushing through different areas than the last one. So that one's going to be making its way into Tipton in the next 10 minutes, Crosstown next 11, and then Salem in the next 17. So areas that are affected by this next bowing segment that is pushing out, and again, northern portions of Shelby, southern portions of Tipton County, gusty winds associated with that. If you do have any outdoor furniture, anything that you don't want to be blown away outside, gusty winds are coming your way. You make sure to put those inside and let that blow over. Anything new, Patrick?
Just saw that we had a report of quarter-size hail at the University of Memphis.
Yeah.
So quarter-size hail at the University of Memphis with this storm. So that makes sense. That goes along with the core that we were watching. We had pea-size hail here in Midtown, and so just to the south and east of us, not terribly far away. That's where the core of the storm has pushed through there with some quarter-size hail. That can do some damage to some vehicles. So hopefully not the case, but of course, something that we're going to unfortunately have to watch out for. Of course, that is part of the story here. We were mentioning earlier that the hail threat may have increased a bit for this round of storms. The second round of storms looks to be all hazards, which would feature damaging winds, hail, and even the potential for a tornado. Can't rule it out here today. So again, back to first alert Doppler radar showing that storm. And guess what? While we've got this one on the exit, it's merging with the storm that's coming that Maggie was just talking about that's getting pretty active here up into portions of Tipton County and also for northern Shelby County out near Shelby Forest, heading towards Millington. So heads up for our friends in Millington, Atoka, and as well as Munford. And of course, the big story here is, again, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 11:45 this morning. You know, we were talking about these multiple waves of showers and thunderstorms here today, and unfortunately, we're seeing that first wave moving through here. I don't think that the Pro-Am is going to do so well over at TPC Southwind today, just because of the fact of obviously this is what's happening here this morning as we are approaching the lunch hour. And I'm actually going to walk over here because I'm going to try to get that camera down in Clarksdale. You go ahead and.
Oh, okay. I put the wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. If you guys can take Max 2 in the back behind me, and I just want to show you what's going on down to the south of us. This is Clarksdale, or this is Coahoma County. Of course, earlier yesterday we had some showers moving through there. We had some showers in and around here earlier today, and we're starting to see some thinner spots in the clouds. This is where the warm front has already lifted past. So at this point, warmer air is now beginning to pull in to this area. I show you this purposefully because, again, this is the air mass that is now pushing towards the north that is going to be heading in our direction that will help to fuel the second round of storms later on today. Back over to Max 1, and this is what we are looking and tracking. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning until 11:45 this morning. As we just mentioned, we had pea-size hail here in Midtown, at least our part of Midtown. Go over to the University of Memphis, which is not but maybe, what, about a mile down the road, and you've got quarter-size hail, which can do some damage to vehicles. Of course, put some dings in your car. Hopefully, that's not the case, but it is a possibility. Ari, I don't know if you've got updated numbers just yet. Okay, let's go over to Ariana Poindexter. She's got some MLGW numbers coming in. Of course, very active here on the radar. Tons of lightning with the storm that's coming out of Mississippi and Crittenden County. Heads up for northwestern Shelby and southern portions of Tipton.
All right, so we are slowly but surely, unfortunately, seeing more and more of those outages. I'm taking a look at this MLGW outage map here. Currently, over 5,000 customers affected. That's homes and businesses. That's about 67 outages. A lot of that area is in the Bartlett area. I'm seeing some in East Memphis, Sam Cooper, Walnut Grove area is where a lot of this is focused. Again, 5,000 customers affected. That's homes and businesses. I also want to point out that we, of course, know the FedEx St. Jude Pro-Am is happening right now. We know that that has been suspended. They have made that call as of 10:34 this morning. So it's been an hour since then. Of course, we have a crew there. We'll keep you updated if anything changes with that. But again, keeping an eye on these outages. And again, I want to point out at the beginning of this newscast, there were only 300 customers affected. Again, now that number is over 5,000. So unfortunately, we're seeing more and more of these outages, what we did expect, unfortunately. So of course, we will continue to keep a watch out on this, and I'll keep you updated, Patrick.
And that goes along with what Sydney Gray was talking about right before the severe thunderstorm warning was being issued, of course, getting ready for these impacts that would be coming along the way. Looks like Highland area back over towards Binghamton. That area seems to be one of the highlight points here, and that goes along with the hail reports that we just got within the last couple of minutes. Back down into the storm we go as we continue to track it. It looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning just came out, and that's going to be for another, I think they basically tried to expand it out. So this one's about to run out of the storm. So what they did, they issued a new severe thunderstorm warning as the storm is now turning more northeasterly. And this one is going to include Lakeland, Arlington, Somerville, up towards Mason and Fayette Corner. So this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that just came out for portions of Shelby and also for portions of Fayette County until, and if I can hit it just right, maybe we can get it to pop up. Maybe not. Who knows? There we go. 12:15. So this is going to be Fayette, Haywood, Shelby, and Tipton County. So a small section of Tipton, small section of Haywood. Mainly this is going to be for eastern Shelby and much of Fayette County, again, until 12:15 for hail and wind potential moving through in this area. Zoom out just a little bit and give you an idea of where that storm is located at, where it's headed, and put the storm track on there out towards the north and east at about 35 miles per hour. They'll take it out for an hour or so. Collierville, again, it's basically on top of you guys. We've been mentioning that here the last couple of minutes. Basically, right now, Collierville. Arlington, you've got about 5-ish minutes, but really you're already probably hearing the rumbles of thunder and seeing the winds beginning to pick up over there. Oakland, over in Fayette County, 11:56. The Braden community by 12:02. Somerville by 12:15. Fayette Corners by 12:30-ish, and Whiteville by about 12:37 as these storms make quick progress off to the east. Melissa, are you back there still? All right. What cameras you got pulled up for us? And you know, we got a lot of lightning popping off over here in. Okay, let's take 240 in Quince. So this is eastern portions of the metro. So this is 240 in Quince. And I think that's looking back towards the north. That's looking back up towards Poplar. So this is the exit to get off to go to Poplar and Germantown. Of course, you see the extremely heavy rainfall beginning to move through here. Very dark as well as you're looking back towards the north. So again, this is right there at the curve as you're about to come around from 385 coming up towards Poplar and Highway 72. This is going to be a slow go of things, and of course we don't encourage you to be out on the roadways at this point, considering the fact that, again, an active severe thunderstorm warning. We've already had reports of quarter-size hail in southeast portions of Memphis over towards Highland, as well as the University of Memphis here within the last few minutes. And of course that storm is now pushing off towards the east, and we now have a new severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 12:15. Let's get a check with Maggie McCauley. And of course, this has been an active start now to the late morning, early afternoon period, which we expected here today when it comes down to these storms.
Yeah, I was taking a look at winds because we're seeing that portion of the storm that's bowing out and giving us a lot of wind gusts really right over the radar site. So some of that really not picking up, but winds across the board, depending on where you are, anywhere between really 15, a lot of us seeing 10, 15, even up to 20 miles an hour, especially if you're up in portions of western Tennessee, Dyersburg, Brownsville, seeing up to 21 miles an hour of wind gusts. Of course, you are going to be seeing more if you do get under one of these heavier pockets that are moving through. So taking a look, I was watching this Boeing segment that's really from, again, Tipton into Shelby County, Flatwood, Munford, and then over into Millington. You can see that just that space that we're not seeing any rainfall, that is the radar site. So it's really moving over, going to be passing through Millington right now, but strong winds associated with that part of the thunderstorm. Even if we take a look at winds and what they're seeing, let me look at that. Yeah, up to 48. Again, this is radar estimate, 48, even up to upper 50s. So definitely that is why we're watching that area of that storm. Lots of wind gusts associated with that as it makes its way through. And then that second one where we saw that new severe thunderstorm issued for portions of Shelby and then over into Fayette County. I was watching the hail tracker with our link system over here just to see exactly where that was. And the good news is, let me show you this, over the past few minutes, you can see that white and that black. That is that hail core, and we see that really drop off over the last few scans. Watch it go off, and then as we go over the next 10 minutes. So letting you loop and see that has really dropped off, which is good news in terms of that hail core that's pushed through. So lots of lightning associated with this. Doesn't mean it's not dropping down hail, but that hail core has dissipated or decreased as we went over really the past 5 to 10 minutes as it makes its way through. But still going to be impactful for folks who are in line with these showers and storms. Taking a look at the rainfall, lots of rain associated with this as it makes its way over into Oakland, Arlington. Still want to be staying weather aware as this makes its way through because, again, lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, also some gusty winds with this one as well. I just know it was initially issued for that hail tracker, and the good news is we have seen that dissipate. Doesn't mean it can't come back up, but for the time being where it is, it has dropped off a little bit. Right now it's over portions of Cordova, Germantown, all the way into Collierville. It's really pressed up from that Mississippi-Tennessee state line, so portions of DeSoto and over into Marshall-Benton County. Still seeing some showers and storms, but not as impactful as those over in Shelby County. Want to give you a broader look of what's going on and what is causing this as well as we switch over. I can show you this. We're seeing this warm front. You can see it's really in areas just straight through the Mid-South, driving those rain chances from Springfield, Missouri, all the way down to Memphis. And these showers and storms just going to continue to ride along this front as it continues to shift northward. So we're just going to continue to monitor that and then keep tracking it as it comes into the picture. But again, this one from Memphis, it is going to be moving into portions of Tipton and Fayette, even over into Haywood County. So not over with that yet. I know you guys have seen showers and storms more than we have here in the Memphis metro, but these are really shifting northward, don't you think, Patrick, and making their way up there. So they're going to be seeing that rainfall.
Yeah, it seemed interesting because we were talking about this right before we came on. We were like, watching some of these storms, they were building down the boundary. So they started in northeastern Arkansas, and then all of a sudden they started to build down that boundary. And then now they're starting to turn as the boundary started to get a little bit more of a push. I was just looking at that Clarksdale camera in northern Coahoma County and actually starting to see some sun breaks down there. So again, increasing opportunities for some recovery in our instability here today. Let's take a look at Futurecast. I want to give you a heads up of where we're headed because there may be a few more rounds of storms to contend with as we head through the next short order between now and about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. A relative lull in the activity, and then the main wave of storms. Remember, we told you 2 rounds of storms would be on the way today. This is just round number 1. Round number 2 comes in here tonight. So meteorologist Spencer Denton, Chief Meteorologist Ron Childers, they're going to be tracking this one, pushing into the Mid-South. Look at the time frame here, sometime 9, 10 o'clock, moving into northeastern Arkansas. I'd say the metro area between 11 and 1 a.m. Strong wind threat likely to push through the area and taking us into the early portions of your Thursday morning before we start to improve the weather condition heading into your Thursday. Let's take that downtown camera. This is a look. This is where Sidney Gray was not terribly long ago, looking back over towards the bridge of many names, as Andrew Douglas would like to say. Of course, tons of rain coming down here within the last little bit as another round of very heavy rainfall now beginning to make its way across portions of Shelby County. So just within the last couple of minutes, seeing another burst of very heavy rainfall moving through there. If y'all don't have to keep them out, yeah, let's take a look at the stuff outside the station. Tell them they don't have to stay out there, just so you know. They do not have to stay out there. Of course, there's tons of lightning with that storm that's moving through here. This is a look outside of our station here at 1960 Union. Of course, the very heavy rainfall. As we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, also pea-sized hail was coming down with some of this as it was making its way through here. I mean, torrential downpours. We were showing you the moisture tracker and the amount of moisture that was sitting in the atmosphere. If you were watching this past Saturday, myself, Maggie, and Ron, we were talking about precipitable water values. Basically, if you were to take a piece of the atmosphere, a column of the atmosphere, squeeze out every single morsel of moisture in the atmosphere, that's how much rain would fall out. Well, today, those values are like almost 2 inches in a lot of instances, and that's why we're seeing the torrential downpours that we are seeing here this morning. So let's go back into our severe thunderstorm warning that is ongoing for Shelby County. And again, this is not just for Shelby County, it's also for Fayette County, a sliver of Tipton County, and a sliver of Haywood County for this storm that's now coming out of the eastern side of the county. Now, you just saw one box go away. That was the original warning that got us on the air with the severe thunderstorm warning. This one is basically the continuation of it, moving off towards the east. But I tell you what, this thing has got some torrential rain. Melissa, go ahead, Melissa or Anna, whoever, go ahead and have maybe the camera that is, I got to get my bearings straight. Have the camera that's at 385 and 70 up in Arlington. Have that one ready to go. 385 and 70 up in Arlington. Have that T-Dot camera ready to go, and let me know whenever you got it. As this line of storms makes its way off towards the north and east, is putting down tons of lightning as well as tons of rainfall. I would be surprised that we haven't already picked up about an inch of rainfall here at the station. So here's a look at that storm track. This is for the severe portion of the line. Again, moving across Eads, Houston Levee area here in the next couple of minutes, 1148, basically on top of you guys right now, Briarcrest Christian School, that general area out towards the Life Church. You've got Arlington there, 1153, so moving across 385. How much? 0.71, so close to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. The Braden community by 1207, Mason getting closer to about 1210, so that's southern portions of Tipton County, and that warning, Somerville by about 1220, and Fayette Corners getting closer to about 1236 this afternoon as we roll into the afternoon hours. Let's check in with Ariana Poindexter, check in on those MLGW numbers, which I can only imagine have gone up here in the last little bit.
Oh yeah, Patrick, I'm definitely seeing an increase in those numbers. I'm going to do a quick refresh just to make sure we have the latest. But at last check, it was over 5,000, 5,200, I should say, MLGW customers. See, yep, that has since gone up. We are now seeing 5,499. That's 5,499 homes and businesses affected. That's about 88 outages. We're seeing a lot of those outages. Few of those widespread, but a lot of those in the East Memphis area. Bartlett is impacted as well. Sam Cooper, Walnut Grove, Park Avenue, that area. We're seeing a lot of outages focus there. Do we have this video? I also wanted to. There we go. Okay, so you can see some golfers here from the FedEx St. Jude Pro-Am. We know that that has been suspended, so that's going to be postponed until later. And you can see those golfers walking with their bags and umbrellas heading away from the course. I know we've seen lightning, heard thunder. And again, for reference, this golf course, TPC Southwind, is in southeast Memphis. So a lot of people hiding out there, trying to escape the rain, really coming down in the area. So, of course, we'll kind of keep you updated on the latest when it comes to the FedEx St. Jude Pro-Am. When that will start back, of course, as soon as we know, we will let you know. But in regards to the outages, we are seeing a steady increase of outages on this MLGW outage map. So I'll continue to monitor this and keep you updated.
Let's take that downtown high five camera. The way it's looking right now is pretty ominous, but the thing that I was just telling you about, looking off to the south, sun trying to break back out. That's that warm front that's lifting northward. This is all in association with the warm front. Now, warm fronts have interesting ways of working the atmosphere, and we're seeing it here this morning. It kind of oozes its way into an atmosphere. We're getting a little bit of a punch with it here this morning, okay, with some gusty winds, frequent lightning, of course, the torrential downpours, and of course, some reports of hail. Just saw inch hail report over at 240 and Lamar. So South Memphis, we're seeing reports of quote-unquote large marble size hail off of Walnut Grove as well. So several reports of hail coming out of this storm, much quieter downtown, or at least this part of downtown. But you see off in the distance, it's not terribly bad. And Melissa, if we could get one of the MDOT cameras, it's going to be like two. Okay. So let's take that, get one at 269 and 55 if we could. But if you do have the 385 one first, let's take that one. Not yet, okay. So we'll go 269 and 55 because I want to show you what's happening down in DeSoto County as well, because you're going to start to see a change here. We do expect that there will be a relative lull in the activity. Let's go back over to the radar. I want to show you the broad perspective here this morning as we continue with a severe thunderstorm warning. Or actually just canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. That goes along with what Maggie was just saying. And so we will get back to the newscast here as soon as we can, or unless you guys want to just go until noon. And then we just go into Bluff City Life. You tell me what you want to do, and we'll go with it. But I do want to point out still tons of lightning associated with this storm as it's making its way across the Mid-South. And then we'll continue with this round of rain and storms here in the next couple of hours. You see more rain and storms developing out towards the west, so we're not out of the woods just yet. And as I mentioned, I was seeing some sunshine breaks in northern portions of Coahoma County not terribly long ago, and that goes along with the idea of a warm front. See how this just shuts down in North Mississippi very quickly? That's the warm front as it's making progress, and it's about to surge in a ton of moisture and surge in a ton of some sunshine trying to break through not terribly long from now. Maggie, you see anything?
Yeah, I want to show temperatures there because it is warm. If we can take a look over here, yeah, temperatures depending on where you are, depending on if you did see some of these showers and storms, it's going to be dependent on what you're seeing. 70 up in Dyersburg, 88 over there in Clarksdale. So very warm if you haven't seen these showers and storms. If you are south of that warm front, as Patrick said, moisture and warmth is going to just be surging up. 83 in Tunica, 86 in Helena. That's just going to continue. And even if we look over at also, I was going to show dew points as well. They're up in those areas as well. So making the atmosphere just prime for these next round, or this next round that's going to be making its way through really as we head into the evening. So as we've been saying all morning, me and Patrick have really tag teamed the morning show. We're tag teaming midday. What we're trying to say is that we're seeing one round right now, and then we're going to be seeing another round that could become more strong to severe as we head into the evening. So you don't want to just let up your guard just because you're done with showers and storms right now. We're going to be seeing another round that's going to be coming into the picture again. This warm front's going to be lifting. That cold front that you see back over in Texas is going to be pushing through, giving that next round of showers and storms to come into the picture. But here's what we're looking at right now. These are rainfall totals. I'm going to switch it back to reflectivity. Lots of rain shifting over Shelby County. These really have weakened as we've been on the past really 30 minutes. You can see here we did see a lot of rain. I'm going to lapse it really over the past hour. Strong showers and storms from eastern Arkansas pushing into portions of western Tennessee. But see how those storms have really weakened, especially with rainfall starting to die off, but still seeing some heavy pockets of rain here in portions of northern Shelby County. Still a lot of lightning just because they've lifted that severe thunderstorm warning. Still want to be indoors and let that pass over. The good news is portions of southern Shelby County into DeSoto County, northern Mississippi, you're not seeing that rainfall anymore. It doesn't mean you won't into the evening. Patrick, what do you?
Let's go ahead and take a look at that MDOT camera. I want to do a round robin, and then we're going to get you to Bluff City Life on time here. So I want to take a look at this. Is a look at I-55 looking northbound at 269. So this is in DeSoto County, looking back into those storms. Let's get that University of Memphis camera up. I was just looking at it over in the corner, and you can see a very interesting look here. This right here is probably a rain shaft mixing in with some hail off in the distance. That's looking back towards the north into that storm that we were watching that's moving across northern Shelby County. Let's come back over to the radar really quick, and I want to hop over to Ariana Poindexter to give us a quick check of what's going on with the MLGW numbers. But I do want to give a heads up to our friends elsewhere, not with where the severe thunderstorm warning was originally located at. It's this storm that we were just looking at from the backside from the University of Memphis. So that storm right there, again, you're starting to see some hail reports probably on the east side of the base, out towards Austin P along Highway 385. So just a heads up for you guys. Also seeing some possibility of hail up in northeastern Shelby County as those storms are now moving through. Time right now coming up on 11:55. I want to check in with Ariana Poindexter with a check of what's happening with the MLGW numbers, and then we'll get you over to Bluff City Life on time and give you a quick overview of the weather forecast for the remainder of the day.
Yeah, Patrick. So at last check, 5861, 5,861. That's homes and businesses impacted by these outages. 137 outages currently. Of course, we are keeping a close eye on this. We also want to mention that the FedEx St. Jude Pro-Am has been suspended. We had video and saw those golfers walking to the clubhouse, just trying to get out of that rain. And of course, we will keep you updated as we learn if and when they will be able to get back onto the course and continue. You see some lightning there from that video. But again, we will continue to keep you updated on that as well as these outages. Patrick?
Let's get you a check of that forecast really quickly because I want to show you where we're going from here, because remember, it's not just one round of storms, it's another round of storms that we'll have to contend with later on today. That first round pushes through here. We may have a couple of more pockets of strong storms between now and the end of the day. That will come to a lull, and then we'll go into another round of storms that will likely come in here into the overnight period tonight. Strong wind potential likely to come along with this. This will also feature the potential for large hail and a risk for a spin-up tornado or two. That's with this next round of storms that will likely come through here as we head through tonight. So while we are dealing with some stuff right now, we will have to deal with some stuff later on today. Don't let your guard down. One way to stay weather aware is on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. We'll keep you updated on that here in the next few hours. But again, damaging winds and large hail seem to be the primary issue, but we can't rule out a tornado or two, especially with that second round of storms likely to come through here in the next couple of hours. Again, that will be later on this evening into tonight. Early tomorrow morning, some storms down in North Mississippi will begin to exit the area, improving weather conditions, but we could have some more storms at times as we head through the next few days. For Maggie McCauley as well as Ariana Poindexter, I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Else. We're going to send you over to regular schedule programming. Bluff City Life starts at noon.